There's been a lot of movement at the quarterback position. What does it mean for Dwayne Haskins Jr.? Can Kyle Allen take this team to where they want to go? And what about Alex Smith and his miraculous comeback? Well, I got three of the best quarterbacks that played for the franchise to discuss: Joe Theismann, Rypien, and Jason Campbell. So let's get to the quarterback that, in all honesty, I wasn't expecting us to have a conversation about, but because Kyle Allen did leave the game, in comes Alex Smith. Wow. I mean, this story. I don't know that any of us would have thought that he would actually play a snap again. Joe, you especially. You went through a gruesome injury, and Alex's is well documented. The path to him coming back here 2 years before this. And yeah, it probably came before they wanted, but they did put him as the number 2 quarterback, so he had to be ready to go. Joe, when he took that field, and then you watched the way that played out, 6 sacks. What was going through your mind?
Well, when he first went out there, Julie, and by the way, I never doubted. I went like 90-10 that I thought he would play again, just because I understand and been around Alex a lot and know how committed he was. The question was, would his body respond in such a way that he would be able to do that? And certainly we've seen it. When he ran out on that football field, I mean, I was as excited as anybody. I've said this before, besides Elizabeth, his wife, I got to be his biggest fan because I know what he's going through. I know exactly what he did. I know exactly what happened to him. And his was so much more severe with the rehabilitation process and the operations and the bacterial things that he had to deal with. And also the fact that he almost lost his leg and his life. And he's back now. And it's just a real credit to, I think, anybody that watched Alex Smith run on that football field has to say, no matter what I'm dealing with in life, I can get through it because look what this man had to deal with. And then when he moved up in the pocket, I felt really good. And then when Aaron Donald jumped on his back and he got up, I said, okay, he's back. Now he has to feel comfortable that the leg held up, that the hits he took around his ankles, around his knees, around his legs didn't bother him. And I think, you have a viable guy who can be an asset to this football team if he's called upon to do it again. I will say this to Kyle Allen. You better not take on defensive linebackers and defensive backs and think that you're going to overpower them. You don't need to prove anything. You don't want to be a tough guy. But as far as Alex goes, I was thrilled and excited beyond belief for him yesterday. It was so great to see him run out on the football field, even though the weather was horrible.
Jason, after watching Alex, yeah, there's rust. There's going to be rust. He hasn't played in 2 years, but he got nowhere with it. What could you expect from him? How long do you think it'd be before he could come in, and maybe should he have to start, which the way things are going around here, he may very well be starting at some point soon.
Yes, and one thing about that, Julie, yesterday I saw him run the field from knowing Alex come out of college similar times and knowing one another. I was nervous. I was just nervous watching him because every time he got hit, you just wonder, like, man, is he going to get up? And then to watch his wife and his kids in the stands, I'm pretty sure his wife's stomach had to be at her neck. And I'm pretty sure that when she got home last night and he got home, she probably needed him to just give her something to relax her, because I'm pretty sure her heart was just pounding and it never stopped pounding. It had to be always at a heart rate at unbelievable levels, and so understandable. When you think about Alex, though, like, I think a lot of the reason he was kept on the field yesterday was because they know that he may be called upon at some point. So this is an opportunity for him to get reps, and not so necessarily about the win at that point, because I think Coach Rivera got to feel that, hey, okay, we're getting pounded both sides of the ball right now. We're probably not going to win this game, but this is a great opportunity for Alex to get a feel back, because he's been out so long. And to me, it wasn't about the win or loss yesterday once he entered the game, because I said, this guy has already won. I said, everything that he's gone through and everything, the 17 surgeries, if you watch the documentary, I said, he's won. He has won the mind over matter. And when you win that department, yes, he's fine and confident on the football field, but now getting that rust off, that takes time. That takes plays. You just don't, it's not like riding a bicycle. You just pull it out the garage and hop on it and go. Like, this is a different level. And for him yesterday to channel all those emotions, like I said, if it was a crowd full, like you said, Julie, it would have been a standing ovation. But to see guys tweeting about it all across the U.S., it goes to show you that you may have a lot of struggles going on in your life, but if you control your mind and not get so caught up in the matter, you can overcome it. And his story is one for a lot of people to watch. And no matter what happens from this day forward for him, he's one to me. And I think that's a true asset to have on your football team when Kyle Allen can lean on him and Dwayne can lean on him. They need to as much as possible because you don't get veterans like that all the time.
Mark, that's the thing, is what is the future for him? I mean, he's not here just to coach up Dwayne. He's not here just to help out Kyle. He's here to play.
Oh, he wants to play. And I think I had goosebumps. And then I saw his family, and then I had tears, you know. It was kind of a jumble of emotions that all of us went through, and just wondering how, first of all, Joe touched on it, this guy's gone through so much and almost lost his leg, almost lost his life. And here he is back on a football field, you know, and I don't think we expected a heck of a lot. I think Alex did. I think Alex probably expected more than we did, you know, and I think going down the road, he'll expect a lot more if he's called upon. And his bottom line, he wins football games, and he finds ways to win football games. So, you know, let's not ever, you know, think that when he comes out there in the field, this is a charity thing. This is Alex doing all the things that he did to get to where he's at, and try to help this team back onto a winning track somehow. And if it's there to help Kyle Allen be a better player, then great. If not, if he's got to be called upon, he's going to be ready, and he expects to do well. And the guy is just an amazing. I love the guy before he even had his injury, and now afterwards, it's just such a great story. And wouldn't it be a great fairy tale story to, if and when it does happen, he comes back and somehow gets a 5-11 Washington football team into the playoffs, because who knows, that might be the case. The way things are going.
Can you imagine that? You know, I asked him, I said, are you superhuman? And he said, no. He shook his head, no, I'm not. But the way that his story has gone, I mean, it's written to where he really has taken on a lot of superhuman traits, but there's been a lot of heartache, a lot of hard work along the way. In closing, do we have our quarterback on this team?
Well, you know, I think that story is yet to be written, Julie. You know, we haven't seen enough of anybody to say that this is the person. We know Alex is on a limited time frame, no matter what. I mean, he's not getting any younger. Dwayne certainly brings the physical talent to the game. Can he develop into the guy that everybody can look at and say, this is the one we want to build around? Kyle is somewhat similar in age to Dwayne. So you have to think that those two could possibly emerge if things around them, you know, get better and have a chance to be able to be the guy. And so there's so many factors. I say this, and I've said it constantly to everybody. The quarterback position is the single most dependent position on the field. Doesn't matter how good you are physically, mentally, toughness. All it means is that you're going to be one element. And Jason made it right in the beginning when we started all this conversation. You're 1/11th of that offense. Granted, a very important part of it, but you're still only 1/11th. And you just have to do your job. And then it's up to the coaches and the organization to fill in people around you. So I hope so, but yet that story has yet to be written.
Jason, your take?
Yeah, I would say this paragraph is still half full. And the reason I say that is because football is built from the inside out. Like, it's in the trenches. And I keep going back to that because you look at the teams that win on a consistent basis. Like, if you can protect, you can keep your quarterback upright. And it's the best friend to any quarterback is having protection in the run game. And Washington right now, they don't have either. And so they need to figure that standpoint out first, and then allow these quarterbacks to go through some of their growing pains. You know, if it's going to be Cal or it's going to be Haskins, let them go through some of their growing pains so that you can see, but you have got to build around them. But right now, it's so many pieces that got to be filled into this puzzle that this is not going to be the year I think they're going to have to figure this out. They're going to need a real complete offseason. They're going to need a whole OTAs and mini camps and training camp preseason. And these two guys may be battling it out next offseason and everything. Who, like I said, Alex, I think he knows he's on a limited time basis. And at the same time, his competitive desire to play is still there. Otherwise, he would have just said he would have retired. But it goes to show you, he fought through all that for a reason. So he's still competing. At the same time, he's saying, I'm helping you guys, but my opportunity presents itself. I know what I got to do to keep playing. And the year is so early. Like, we're just only in week 5. So, we'll figure out a lot of things by the end of this year. But, it's a tough decision. It's a tough decision making. As Coach Rivera said, he hasn't had his draft pick yet at that position. Haskins came from the last regime. So Haskins needs to show Coach Rivera, like Mark said, he got to show Coach Rivera that, hey, I'm going to prepare myself and I'm going to bounce back better than I ever have. I just waiting on my opportunity to present itself.
And again, from what I hear from the coaching staff, it's just to step back, reevaluate, put a plan in motion in order for him to make that forward progress. But Mark, I'll close with you with that question.
I think one of the things this team needs is a quarterback to take the bull by the horn, have some identity. This team doesn't have an identity right now. I think a lot of that will have onus on Scott Turner. He has got a great opportunity for himself, but to see what he has and implement these ideas and characteristics of whether it be a Kyle Allen, whether it be an Alex Smith or Dwayne Haskins, and use their skill set and identity, have an identity for what they want to do. Both Joe and Jason both know the physical part of the game is important, and having a running game and setting the tone is essential for a football team, both on the offensive and defensive line. And I think that needs to be established, and that identity needs to be seen in order for a Kyle or an Alex or a Dwayne to be successful. And then Scott Turner's got to give some, like any good coordinator does, get some low quality or easy, high percentage throws early, get the running game going. It's just football 101, that we all hear about. And then you'll have some big play guys like McLaurin and guys make plays for you, and that's what the game's about.
A lot of football left to be played this season, and in most careers, again, Alex Smith, just the fact that he's back and out there, whatever he can do, it's already winning, minus any wins or losses on the field. Thank you all for joining me in the quarterback room. All right, Mark, you're off to go golfing. Joe's going to go to the beach. And Jason, where are you heading?
I wish I could go golfing today, but otherwise, I think I may paint.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I can give you a number. I have a guy. Thank you all for joining me in the QB room. Appreciate your time. We'll be talking with you soon.